Hey everybody, this is Craig from Not Your Average Moe's. I want to talk with you guys tonight about my view of Moe's through the human resources frame. My goal here was to view employee morale and the interaction between the customer and employee. I walked in the front door at the Moe's in Glastonbury, Connecticut, and I was greeted with a half-hearted "Welcome to Moe's," when I was expecting, some enthusiasm behind that, but there wasn't. So I walked up to the counter and I asked the man, "Can I have a steak home wrecker?" And I said, "Oh, actually, you know what? I want tofu instead." And he gave me a smirk like, "Yeah, I'll get that right up for you, buddy." Anyone who's familiar with emotional intelligence knows that there's a certain finesse about customer service. You want to have some relationship with the customer. You don't want to make them feel like they're unwelcome and that you don't want them to be there. Um, that's kind of how I felt. So he passed the burrito along to his coworker, and she just kind of threw globs of sour cream and just handfuls of cheese onto my burrito, and it was sort of like made it very clear that she didn't care that I had a good product and that I enjoyed my meal. And so I was not very happy with my interaction. Um, it wasn't even that good of a burrito. The chips were stale, and I just did not please for it at all. And I think the food is not the only thing. It's the atmosphere, it's how you feel in the restaurant that really matters. So I think this is an issue, maybe not across all Mo's, but at least in this one is an issue. Um, but I don't think it's a problem with the employees. I think it's a problem with management and the top down. Uh, we find, it's been found that job satisfaction comes from being challenged at work, having a sense of achievement and recognition at work. And I just don't think that Moe's employees really have that. It's a minimum wage job. We've all been there. It's not earth shattering stuff. You get paid not so great. You probably don't get treated all that great either sometimes from the customers. And if I had to say welcome to Moe's all day long to everybody who walked in the front door, I'd probably be less than enthused as well. So I get where they're coming from. But still, it's something, you know, treating people with a level of respect comes from intrinsically, but also extrinsically. You want to be able to be recognized for the great work you do. So maybe the management can implement some sort of reward system, an incentive for being a high performer or a high performing store. Maybe monetary rewards. I don't know. Maybe if you can't give employees money, offer some kind of retreat like a weekend getaway or prizes or something like that. Apple has used retreats in the past um, to help their employees. Maybe you could shut down some stores like Howard Schultz did for Starbucks, and in that way, I think retraining your employees to be more empathetic to the customer, work better in teams, that kind of stuff can really help build that relationship between the employee and the customer, training them in how to be professional in the customer service world. Because yeah, that's just not a good look when you're treating people like without respect basically, and you just don't care about them. So those are some of the things I think that can be worked on. Like Outback Steakhouse too, they offered great incentives for people, their employees. If you're a dishwasher at Outback Steakhouse, you can rise up through the ranks and become a partner. You can buy stock in Outback Steakhouse. There is some light at the end of the tunnel. You could really build a career. There is no glass ceiling. Whereas Moe's, you're making burritos for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, and your manager hates his job, and there's just no room to grow there. I've read on Indeed and Glassdoor.com that across the board, managers and employees, they all really don't like the job. They like working with each other, I think. The you know between That's one thing that probably keeps them sane at work is um, engaging with each other. But other than that, there needs to be some work that management does, and so I'm hoping that they can implement some of these changes someday and maybe turn some of these stores around, because it's kind of a shame. I know I'm not alone in these feelings. So thanks, guys. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Have a good night.